I see lots of food blogs that reference family recipes, such as Grandma's tomato sauce or Mum's chocolate chip cookies, and I'm incredibly jealous. I have a lot of food memories, from childhood through to today, but I don't have a single family recipe passed down to me from the generations before. What's interesting about this is my grandparents are great cooks, particularly on my mother's side. I remember going to their house at the weekend and there being freshly baked bread from my granddad and cakes and a Sunday roast from my nana. However, I don't remember my mum and dad ever teaching me to cook anything. I also don't remember them cooking anything they learned from their parents either. So where did all the family recipes disappear to? And how do I get them back? Our household was never short of food when I was growing up. There was possibly a money and a class element to the food we ate, but it wasn't the main contributing factor. We never went without, we never went hungry. In reality, we had a pretty standard diet for the time, with most of it coming from the freezer or from tins. Convenience food was aspirational. The microwave was king, pushed by supermarket advertising for ready meals and microwave cookbooks. One of the big advantages for the ready meal is you no longer need the recipe, and you no longer need to learn the technique. So why learn to make a bechamel when you could buy an entire lasagna already packaged and ready to cook? If recipes did survive, they would have been morphed to fit the times. I distinctly remember my mum having a book that talks you through cooking an entire Sunday roast in the microwave. Another time my dad used the grill function to make toast, spent about 10 times the effort he would have done just using the toaster across the room. What was really revolutionary was that we could all have something different for tea. Tikka masala for my dad, shepherd's pie for my mum, corned beef hash for me. With the added benefit that everyone could just cook their own. No hot ovens to worry about, no scheduled constrainers. This meant eating on your lap in front of the TV at whatever time suited. No sitting at the table, and no shared experience. Nobody had to explain to me how you make anything. There was still one exception: Sundays. The Sunday roast is a British tradition, and it was no different in our house. Luckily, my mum did resist the urge to cook the entire thing in the microwave, but the odd Aunt Bessie's Yorkshire pudding would slip in. I want you to bear in mind that we grew up in Yorkshire, with great uncles and aunties who were farmers and cooks, so why couldn't we make a Yorkshire pudding ourselves? We didn't always have a Sunday roast at home. We would often visit our grandparents as well. I'd go to the pub with my dad and granddad, and I'm about 9 in this story, while my cousins, Leanne, Suzanne and Laura, would stay behind and help with the cooking. Then we'd all sit together as an extended family and eat. This is exactly what people aspired to when they think of family meal gatherings. But it was infrequent, and only when my grandparents initiated it. Now, I don't want to set the picture here that my parents were lazy or they did a bad job. They were victims of the food environment they lived in. Added to that, they both worked and time was a premium. Ultra-processed food was new and aspirational, and it's been pushed hard by the supermarkets. I distinctly remember the launch of new breakfast bars, Nutri-Grain, and the excitement that it caused. It was a healthy breakfast backed by science. Except that it wasn't really. There's a lot of public awareness around ultra-processed food today, but that didn't exist then. Parents were largely defenceless against this kind of advertising. At school, it wasn't much different. Most school meals consisted of chips, sausages, burgers, and pink custard and sponge for dessert, which actually is a culinary masterpiece. That's the food my entire generation was eating up and down the country, as school cooks were being replaced with ready-made food shipped in from outside. Even our school cooks were becoming de-skilled. My wife has the same experience, with her parents' cooking confidence eroded in the same way through lack of practice. I remember her once telling me she was nostalgic for a shepherd's pie, but then when I made it, she wondered where all the tinned goods were. Why are there no bare beans in this? It would be disingenuous of me to say I never ate fresh food or meals cooked from scratch. My dad could make a good spaghetti bolognese and chili con carne. My mum could put together a fantastic Sunday roast. The chip pan also got numerous outings, despite the constant public safety videos about their use. On top of that, we ate out at pubs, no, never restaurants, fairly frequently, and we had the usual guilty pleasures of a chippy tea or pizza takeaway. So, is that the end of those traditions? The 90s food culture has destroyed my links to the past? I don't think so. I still have memories of my favourite foods from childhood, and much to my wife's disdain, a tin of ravioli can take me right back. I would like to reset with my children though. My 6-month-old is currently weaning, and he's experiencing foods that I could only dream of as a child. His favourite's avocado, a food I don't think I came across until I was in my 20s. When he's older, I'll teach him the recipes that I've learned. Unfortunately, they just won't come from his nana. They'll come from Blumenthal, Ramsay, Stein, and Ottolenghi. My hope is that in 2 generations, my family will cook my Yorkshire pudding recipe. They'll get into an argument about how long it sits out for, how long to heat the oven. One of them will come back and say, well, that's how your great-granddad did it. Except they won't know. I just got that recipe from Delia Smith. And I think there is some hope for home cooking and food culture in the UK. The air fryer, which is in danger of becoming the new microwave, seems to have inspired a newfound love of cooking in my parents. Every time I see them, I get another tip for something I can air fry. It's nice to see them excited about food, because it's now an important part of my life as well. Maybe alongside Delia's Yorkshire pudding recipe, I can pass along my dad's method for air frying a pork chop, because it's actually really good.